G'day, this is a quick analysis of Chapter 6 of Crow Country by Kate Constable. This is a nice short chapter, but there are a few areas that we should focus on as we plough through this text. First of all, you're going to notice that we've got this comment from Sadie here, crows are better than magpies. And this is kind of her asserting her own individuality. She's not taken by the footy club and the hype that goes with the town getting behind their local footy team. She's almost asserting this idea that she wants to be an individual, wants to be on her own. Anyway, she takes off and she wants to go for a walk and explore the lake. And here we've got this great description of it. Lake Invergary was a mustard-coloured stain, like paint spilled over the landscape. The grey sky lowered over the mud. Dead trees leaned drunkenly from the silt, and for an instant Sadie saw them as skeletal hands, groping bony fingers in the air. She halted, feeling lost. She couldn't remember how to find the stones. Had she really dreamed them? Look, there's some great descriptive language in here, and the use of personification as well to really bring this description to life. It creates this ominous mood. It's a spooky sort of feeling which fits nicely into the genre, where if there's a mystery, there's got to be an element of darkness and something hidden, and we get that from this sort of description. But in spite of all that, it doesn't feel like it's threatening. It's just like there's something to be discovered. It's not something to be frightened of or to fear. Just under there, we continue with this sort of the darkness, if you like, but then a black shadow swooped above her head, gliding under the sky that fitted over the land as snugly as a lid on a box. Wah, wah. And we've got the motif of the crow and the blackness associated with it repeated in this description. And then we move on to some of this dialogue. This is Crow's place. Now, we've seen these sorts of lines in other parts of the text, so it becomes this common feature, if you like. And it's another motif that's employed, this idea of place and the importance of that place and who is associated with it and who belongs to it and who owns it. It raises lots of those sorts of questions. And we get more information about that here. This is a secret place, a story place. The crow tilted its head. Crow's people came to this place. Now they are gone. The stories are always. Who tells Crow's stories now? Where are the dreams when the dreamers are gone? Where are the stories when no one remembers? So we've got a lot of this information being revealed in a very unfamiliar way for Sadie. She's not really sure of how to take a lot of this, and typically speaking, she would like to ask questions, but she's not allowed to. She's been told that she just has to sit, she just has to listen, not speak. And that's not just a message for Sadie, that's a message for the audience, and that's a message for wider Australia. We must listen to these stories. And it certainly, this quote here highlights the importance of story, and this idea that there's no point having stories if there aren't people to listen to them, and if they aren't passed on. And it shows the connection between the land and the ancestors and the culture and the heritage, and how that's lost once these stories are forgotten or lost. And it continues with similar sort of notions. Country remembers, it croaks softly. Country remembers, crow remembers. So it's prompting Sadie to become more aware, to listen more, to appreciate the land and to see her connections with it. It gets more confusing, I suppose. As the crow said, so at last the crow said, Crow cannot see. This is Crow's own place, but he cannot see. The end of this story is hidden in shadow. This is your story too. You must finish it. The crow blinked twice. You do not belong to this place. You do not belong to Crow, but this story is your story. Now, this is unusual. It's, in one hand, it's saying, you don't fit in. This isn't you. You don't belong to this world. But it's saying, but you are still part of this story. So, in spite of not belonging, she has to resolve this, because even this spirit can't see the ending because it's hidden in this shadow. It's unknowable, perhaps even to the spirit. But apparently, Sadie does. Apparently, Sadie's the one who can resolve it, to solve the mystery. And we've got this information revealed here about the clever man. Wow, the Crow gave a sudden laugh. The story of a clever man. And we're not sure what this is, but this is one of those first clues that really gets Sadie going. So it's adding to the intrigue, not just for Sadie, but for us as an audience. Here's the first hint, here's the first clue. How is she going to use this information to solve the mystery of the text? And then it concludes the chapter with this. The sudden night was thick as tar. She didn't know if her eyes were open or shut. Wind whistled and roared about her, screaming with the crow's voice. She didn't know if she was running or falling, dreaming or awake. She was plummeting into the darkness, and the dark was choking her like soft black feathers in her throat. It has this horrible sort of elements of nightmare attached to it here. The description is so vivid that you can just imagine, you can just feel the torment that Sadie's going through in this. And it gives us this idea of not knowing if she was awake or if she was in a dream world, and that confusion that goes with that, which becomes a really important part of this text, because as she slips in and out of these moments in time, she actually transports into a different world almost, or at least into a different time. That's why it's called a time slip novel, and that's what's happening in this part of the text here. Well, I hope that helps you understand this chapter a little bit more clearly. I look forward to talking to you again for an analysis of chapter number 7. This has been an ETV production brought to you by Prindiville Catholic College.